Hi everyone, and welcome to our live stream Q&A for our Kickstarter project, Interface, a Vocaloid Album Collection. I'm Aki Glancy, and I'm joined by Circus-P,
Hello. Hi. It's me.
and I'm also joined by No Straight Answer.
Hello.
And we're here to answer any questions you may have about our crowdfunding campaign. Now, before we begin, we want to apologize for any lag. All three of us live in locations with questionable Wi-Fi. We also want to specify that this is a Q&A purely for the Kickstarter and its related content. We do appreciate any questions you may have regarding us as individuals or our love of Vocaloid, but those questions should be held off for another time. So please keep your questions specifically related to our campaign. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started. Do we have some questions out there for us?
Whew. Hello. Hello is the major question right now.
Nice.
Hello is a great question to ask. We're all very pleased that you could join us. We hope that we can fill you guys in on what we have planned for the Kickstarter in terms of how we're going to get our CDs made, things related to stretch goals, etc., and so forth. So we're getting questions related to how we're doing. I think we can say that we're all doing very well.
Yes.
Yep. I just went to the doctor though.
Oh.
So
Oh yeah.
I just
Not
wanted
so
to
much.
clarify really quickly that if you see my icon with the mute indicator next to it a lot, it's because I'm trying not to cough directly into the microphone on stream.
So I'm already seeing the first question that are basically, I'm seeing the same question asked a couple times. And the question is, what is this Kickstarter? What is it for? Why is it for? Etc. This Kickstarter is a crowdfunding campaign to help raise the necessary funds we need to get our 3 albums produced. Those albums are 715 by Circus, Syntax Zero by No Straight Answer, and then a special English edition featuring Dinah of my album, Ghost of Artificial Trees. All of the money for this project will go directly to getting our CDs manufactured and getting them out to you guys, as well as getting the copies that we need to sell at conventions, online, etc., and so forth.
I see a question that someone asked. Eva Rosal asked, "Is there anything I can do even though I'm broke?" Even if you can't support the Kickstarter, sharing the Kickstarter is plenty. It is. We would just, as long as you can like retweet or share links to our Kickstarter to other people, that is all we can ask for, really. If you can't actually like pledge or something, that is still great support, and we really appreciate it.
And that means sharing it anywhere and everywhere. You can share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on any social media accounts that you'd like to. Any and all social media sharing and support is welcome. Just getting the project out there helps bring traffic to the project, gets people to become interested, and anything, even though no matter how small it may seem, is helpful to us. Wow, there's quite a lot of questions coming in. Please bear with us, guys. We'll try to get to all of your questions, but please understand the faster the chat goes, the harder it may be to see a question. So if we miss your question and we do not answer it as a proxy to somebody else's question, please feel free to send it to us again, and we will try to get to it.
Also, I'm seeing a lot of oh gosh, I said I wouldn't do that. I'm seeing a lot of people trying to communicate in Spanish. None of us are fluent in Spanish, so we could not communicate communicate our desires natively, unfortunately. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we could talk to some people to see if they could help us translate the Kickstarter page, but we will not be able to live caption or translate this stream. So sorry.
Lupin, I saw a question directed at you. How many songs will be on Syntech 0?
If you will give me just a moment so I do not die.
Lupin is, as he said, he went to the doctor, so has a little bit of a chest congestion problem right now. So if he has to, as he said, if he has to mute himself, it's because he's busy coughing his lungs out.
Thank you. So how many songs are in Syntech? For the entire collection, there are at least, I want to say, 16 unique songs and quite a few songs that are self-covers of works that will be on Syntech Plus. So it's Syntech 0 is a complete set containing Syntech Plus and Syntech Minus. Syntech Plus contains mostly Vocaloid work, and Syntech Minus contains mostly self-covers of that Vocaloid work. But there are some original works on Syntech Minus as well as a few rearranged or remixed versions from the Plus side. So hopefully that is a suitable enough. No, hopefully that explains Syntech's expected track list and length accurately.
Another major question that I'm seeing, I think asked by a few people, is if we'll be shipping these CDs internationally, and for the Kickstarter orders, we will. While after the Kickstarter, if this gets funded, they will be available at conventions. If you want to guarantee receiving a copy, if it gets funded, the Kickstarter is the way to go. However, shipping will vary depending on your distance in relation to the United States. But it will be available worldwide.
And I want to add that each order will also receive a tracking number so that when the CDs are shipped out, whether you be international, local, or otherwise, you will receive a tracking number and you'll be able to track your package. I saw one question related to somebody who was asking about credit cards on Kickstarter. Unfortunately, Kickstarter does not accept PayPal or other forms. I think you have to use a credit card. However, if you want to use your PayPal account, there are ways you can do so. You can get the PayPal Visa card, which is something I recommend to anybody who uses PayPal on the regular and wants to have direct access to your funds. You can get the PayPal Visa card, and then in the future, you can use that Visa card to access your PayPal account on something that maybe does not accept direct PayPal linkage. You can use that card as a debit card, and it will act the same way. So if you might not be able to do it for this particular instance, in which case you might need somebody to help you pay for it using a credit card, debit card, etc. But in the future, just think about doing that, because that is helpful. That's what I use sometimes when I fund a Kickstarter project.
Ollie asked if we hit the stretch goals for additional albums, will they be new albums or ones that have already been released? They will all be new albums.
Brand new.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them may, in particular, my release may contain 2 songs that I have previously written and previously released, but everything else would be brand new music. And I would basically just kind of include those just so that people could have access to them, because they're currently not available any other way.
I'm planning for my album to be similar to 715 in that it is a compilation of songs I've written since 715 but haven't put on any albums. So they're new to an album, but you might have seen them on YouTube before or on Patreon if you're one of my patrons. But there will be some brand new songs on them too. And sorry, come on.
No, gosh darn it. Anyway, regarding my additional album, I have actually sort of posted a preview of it on SoundCloud and on Twitter previously. This mine is my Spectres project, which is a original Vocaloid and self-song album. It's a concept album about my personal fears. Some of them really big, some of them pretty small. And I try to approach them in a way that is somewhat contemplative and not like necessarily edgy. But, you know, subject matter, you know, sometimes it'll cross that boundary. But everything on it is going to be original, and I believe songs for that might start appearing sometime in August on my channel. So those are some days.
I see one question asked by Irene Blossom. What are you guys exactly hoping for this project? Ideally, our main goal is that we simply want to reach our goal of $3,000 and get these albums manufactured. That is our base goal.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we want first and foremost. If we reach that goal, then we're in great shape. But we do have some excellent stretch goals available for people that we would love to see get reached as well. The first stretch goal we have is a merchandise stretch goal. And this stretch goal relates to things that we want to get manufactured to add to the release of our album that'll just make them that much better. Things like keychains, buttons, stickers, and t-shirts. We also have, of course, the 3 stretch goals specifically for each of us for an additional album release. Our first stretch goal is for it's for you, right, Lupin? It's for you, or is it for me? For
it's for mine. Yeah.
For you. And then after Lupin would be an additional album release for me, and then finally an additional album release for Circus. And all of those stretch goals together would mean that we'd need to make $11,000. So in an ideal world, we would reach that final stretch goal and get the necessary funds we need to get the additional merchandise we need and get these additional albums released as well. So our main goal is simply the $3,000. But if, again, in an ideal world, if we can get that $11,000, that would be amazing as well.
And I see a question by Tiffany Sanchez. Hi, recently joined. Will there be physical copies as well? This Kickstarter is in relation to only physical copies. These albums will either have already been digitally released or will be getting a future digital release. But this Kickstarter is to fund physical copies that you can hold in your hand, real material world things, and because we think they're neat. And it's that's the main goal of this Kickstarter. The cost of actually writing and producing the album isn't actually included in our projections for coming up with what we needed to raise. It is all about commissioning the artists and getting them printed physically is the main cost that we are trying to raise money for.
Yeah, as somebody who through my studio, I get a lot of CDs made, both for myself and for other people. It's not cheap. And one of the issues we run into is that we may order a big bulk of CDs, but that doesn't mean necessarily anybody wants them or are going to buy them right away. So through Kickstarter, the great thing about Kickstarter is that it's like a pre-order. You get to get the CD ahead of time. You get access to a bunch of fun updates and the opportunity to get bonus items added to your order. And that way we know not only that there's a demand for these CDs, that people want these CDs, but we have a guarantee, essentially bill of sale of those CDs. And then it also allows us to be able to get extra ones made, again, for promotional events like conventions, for sale online, etc. Oh, excellent question. This is a question for me. Is this Kickstarter in relation to raising funds for future Voc America events? No, it has nothing to do with Voc America, other than the fact that I'm the manager of Voc America and am therefore barely related by proxy. No, this has nothing to do with Voc America. None of the funds are planned to go to Voc America. it's all purely for these albums and these album related products and stretch goals, etc. That was an excellent question, though. I appreciate that question.
Mm-hmm. And yes, please, if we don't answer your question, it may be because we're trying to focus on questions related to the Kickstarter specifically, not vague questions in relation to just us in general. While I appreciate them, we will answer them at another time. I promise I'll do another Q&A stream in the future. But this stream, for now, is focused on the Kickstarter interface. Still love you, though.
Yes, we still love you. and like he said, we appreciate those questions. Here's
sorry, but,
an excellent question.
Oh, sorry, you first then.
The question is, and one of you two can answer this, because I don't know if we actually discussed this, so this is a great opportunity to address this question. Any chance of signed copies? Could that be a pledge tier? Because I would definitely pay for signed copies of all three. I don't see why we couldn't do signed copies, and it just be, and it just be part of the kicks. Like no tier needed, no embellishments needed. We just sign them.
Yeah, because oh, sorry.
I do imagine potentially it depends on how we organize shipping. Really, that's the truth. And we'll have to discuss this in more detail to figure that out. But they're like, if we all receive, I think like, I think, and let me know if you guys like think of this as like maybe a bit too much or too little, but if we do want to do signed signatures, I think we would have to probably ship all the albums to our individual residences and sign them and then send them back to someone. So you know, it honestly depends on how we're gonna handle shipping, but we will absolutely update you on that.
Yes, we'll keep you guys posted. The main issue is, to be a little bit more specific, is that Lupin lives in a different state, Circus lives in a different state, and I live in a different state. So in order to actually give individual signatures on the physical editions themselves, like not just, you know, creating a digital signature and adding it to the CD, which isn't quite the same in my opinion. I think it's much more fun when you have, oh my gosh, I can tell that that's permanent marker. That's great. The issue is that we're all ordering from one company, and chances are is that that company will then give the CDs to me, and then I was going to be handling the shipping. So that runs into a little bit of an issue. So we'll discuss it. We'll try to see if it's possible. Because I love the idea. If we can do it, then we will definitely let you know via Kickstarter updates specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to talk about how Kickstarter works a little bit, because I've seen a lot of people who actually don't really know what Kickstarter is, and some person actually asked more specifically. Let me see if I can find them really quick. How does it work? Okay, Pluto Arts asked or said, I've never used Kickstarter. How does it work? I'd love to help. I love your music, and CDs are something I collect. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Kickstarter, it is a crowdfunding site where you basically pledge to a project, in this case, our project, Interface, and in return for pledging a certain amount of money to our project, you are entitled typically to some sort of reward in return. In this case, our primary product that we're trying to get to you guys is these physical albums in return for you helping us manufacture them. If you're a little bit worried about backing early because you don't want to have your money ultimately go to waste, not to worry, because if the campaign isn't completed, if we fail to reach our goal for any reason, you will not be charged. And if you are still a little wary, you can hit a remind me button on Kickstarter to receive a reminder 48 hours before the deadline of the Kickstarter. Yeah, so that's, hopefully that answers your question.
And not only that, Lupin, if I'm correct in remembering, it's been a while since I've ordered through Kickstarter, but if they go and they make a pledge now, they will not be charged whatsoever at all.
Correct.
Until the Kickstarter is over, and they will only be charged if the Kickstarter is completely funded. What's more.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very correct. That's extremely important to remember.
I saw a question earlier. I see John Doe's question, and I would like to address it, but I saw a question a little bit earlier. What type of merch is the merch stretch goal for? Excellent question. The merch stretch goal specifically is to fund additional little products to add to our CD releases for each of us. Those products are one keychain, it's sorry, I have to pull up the page because my brain suddenly blanked. Excuse me. 1 to 2 buttons, and then 2 to 3 stickers, and that will be one keychain, 1 to 2 buttons, and 2 to 3 stickers for Ghosts of Artificial Trees, then the same thing for 715, and then the same thing for Syntax Zero. And they will be made specifically for those albums. So it will be themed around whichever album you choose to purchase. And those will automatically be added should we reach the $5,000 stretch goal. So you won't have to do anything. The only thing that you will possibly have to do is that if we get t-shirts made, you'll have to specify certain things on the Kickstarter. And Lupin, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I'm sorry, I zoned out. About what specifically?
For the t-shirts.
Oh, okay. So you guys feel free to jump in if I say something that isn't quite on the mark with what we've discussed previously. So the deal with the t-shirts is that with the merchandise goal, we will be commissioning our respective album artists to completely design a t-shirt. And these t-shirts are available to basically everyone who pledges to the Kickstarter. It doesn't matter if you're pledging to get an album or if you're pledging just to support us and get your name in the special thanks section of our liner notes. When we send out the backer surveys after the Kickstarter is completed, you will be able to add a t-shirt with your favorite design or favorite designs even as part of your backer survey. These, just to be transparent about it, those you will pay for those on top of your Kickstarter pledge. They will be, I believe, $15 each. And did I miss anything?
Well, essentially, if you want to specify, at the moment, t-shirts are specifically only through Kickstarter. The other items, such as the keychains and the buttons and stuff, that stretch goal is made to go for all the CDs we order, every single one, until we run out of the CDs. So whenever anybody buys that CD from us on Kickstarter or afterwards, that CD will automatically come with 2 to 3 buttons, 1 to 2 buttons, 2 to 3 stickers, and then the keychain. But the t-shirts will be manufactured based off people on Kickstarter and whoever wants a t-shirt. At least that is our current plan.
Yes.
It is subject to change. Should that change, we will obviously make an update on the Kickstarter, either on the Kickstarter page or through our updates. If you have pledged, you can check your updates and see what is what.
Mm-hmm. And even if you haven't pledged, you can go to the updates page on our project at any time, and most of the public posts, in fact, all of the posts we have made so far have been public, and I plan to hopefully have all of them be public until, at the very least, the end of the Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to address? Well, we should probably. I think we already did, actually. Midnight Veil asks, will we be able to get albums if we don't pledge? And I believe the answer is you, with the Kickstarter, you're guaranteed to get an album. But if you do not back the Kickstarter, they will be almost exclusively available at future conventions, whatever's left over.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it is also based off whether or not we get funded.
Yes.
Oh, there was something else about the t-shirts I should have mentioned. I almost forgot. So, regarding how limited they are, Circus and Aki, their t-shirts will not be available anywhere else besides the Kickstarter. However, I, as an individual, wanted to make sure that if t-shirts are made, you guys might be able to get them later on down the line. But those will be in extremely limited quantity, and they will not be attached to the Kickstarter whatsoever. So, that's that. We can go on to another question now.
I saw a question. Now, Circus has some things prepared, so we might want to show this now, Circus. I'll ask you in just a minute. Raymario Pokanik. Oh, I can barely pronounce your name. Very cool name though. Has asked what exactly will be on the buttons, merchandise of what. We do have some promo sketches of concepts we have created for both buttons, keychains, and stickers. Do we want to show that now, or do we want to hold back until we do address a couple of other questions?
I think it's all right to, well, we might show those in a little bit. First off, I'm really excited because our friend Zuri just informed us that we reached 50% of our goal.
Yay! 50%!
Clap, 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 clap.
Yay!
That's
we are
exciting.
well on our way, guys, to getting these CDs funded.
Yeah. And I think before we show the sketches, because one of the sketches is involved with something that we want to announce now, I guess, in regards to the Kickstarter, because it is about time to do so.
Yes, it is.
We have something special planned, and I think Aki would explain it a bit better.
All right. I will do my best. So everybody, we decided that as a little promotional thing during this stream, about halfway through, we were going to post on Twitter about a very special social media sharing related reward tier that we would like to add for that will be available or excuse me, the social media sharing will be a 24-hour related kind of event. Basically what this is that it's going to be a special tier that we are going to add that will give you access to a social media related sharing tier that will only appear if we get a certain number of shares on retweets, I should say, on a particular post that I'm going to make in just a moment. Let me explain a little bit more about what these shares will entitle you to. So, if you go to the post, which we will provide the link to, or you can just go to my Twitter in a couple minutes when I post it. If we get 100 retweets, we will add a social media reward tier at $5. If you are a $1 pledger, you will be able to add it, or you can update your pledge from $1 to $5, and it will entitle you to 3 minimalist stickers created by Lupin, No Straight Answer. And these will be sent to you, and they will automatically be included if you've already pledged for the album. you don't need to change your tier. They will automatically be sent to you if we reach 100 retweets. But if you are a lower tier, if you are a $1 pledger and you want those special stickers, you can easily update your pledge and get those stickers at $5. If we get 500 retweets of this particular post, then we will make the stickers, and then we will also make 3 character buttons that will be created by Circus-P over here. Ooh. And those will also be included with that $5 pledge tier, as well as be included with your album tier. If you've pledged for the album, you'll get the stickers, you'll get the social media buttons, and you'll get your album. And then finally, if we get 1,000 retweets, you will get the stickers, you will get the social media buttons, and you will also get 3 character keychains created by myself, which will be included with that $5 tier and with all of the albums automatically. So I'm about to make the post on Twitter. I just have to figure out how I'm going to word it because I realize I didn't type it.
Oh no.
It's fine. It'll take me like 5 seconds. So once I make the post, I will let you guys know. You can go to my Twitter and you can start retweeting and sharing that. And again, if we get those 100 retweets within the next 24 hours and subsequently 500 or 1,000, then we will add that tier. However, if we do not reach 100 retweets, we will not add that tier because this is a special thing for you guys to share the project, get it out there, show it to your friends, show it to your mother, your cousin, your brother, your significant other, whatever you please.
This is a very good way to help if you can't actually pledge. Just retweet. Hit the retweet button.
Absolutely.
Share it.
And then even if you can't pledge to the Kickstarter yourself, you're helping your fellow man who has pledged to the thing, and they'll get some special goodies. Who doesn't like special goodies?
Yeah.
So I'll be posting it in just a moment. So you guys want to take over questions while I write this up?
Sure. To sum it up, though, if we reach all these goals, this is a $5 tier that involves... This is a $5 merch tier that gets 3 keychains, 3 buttons, and 3 stickers. Shipping is not included in this cost, though. So again, depending on your distance from the United States, shipping may vary. Just keep that in mind before you pledge. If we reach that, of course. Let's see. I suppose if we're all right with it, we have some visuals to share of the of our merch tiers, all the merch being created, that I have prepared in a fancy slideshow fashion to show you guys.
Yes, I am. That sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
Before we do that, may I read this back to you to make sure that I've typed it out correctly, and that way you guys will know the post when you see it as well. I said, hey everyone, as part of our live stream, we're hosting a special social media campaign as part of our #Interface Collection Kickstarter. If we get a specific number of tweets on this post within the next 24 hours, we will add a $5 reward tier to our Kickstarter. Or a $5 social media reward tier to our Kickstarter.
Change tweets to retweets or RTs.
Oh yeah, do RTs. That's hip.
RTs. Yeah, we are young and we are hip. RT.
While you're doing this, Ritu Pepper asked a question that is addressed to me, and I'm going to answer. Assuming this project gets funded, will the physical version of 7.15 be identical to the currently released digital version, or may it include some new tracks or instrumentals? The physical version, at the moment, is completely identical track list-wise to the digital version. However, I will be getting brand new art commissioned for the cover, the back cover, like everything will be all new and fancy. So the physical edition looks different and is a different experience visually, but tracklist wise, it is going to be exactly the same.
Also, I'd like to add that I have just made the post now. Circus, would you like me to link the post in the live stream chat?
Yes, I'm gonna go retweet it.
Yes.
I made the graphic that went with it. I'm proud.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I have just posted the link to the tweet. And as I said, if we reach 100 retweets within the next 24 hours, we will automatically add that social media reward tier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great because who doesn't love stickers? Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now.
All right.
Now, there are question marks in that visual, but we do have some sketches prepared.
We sure do.
I'm going to start with I'm going to switch this slide to Aki sketches. If you would like to explain Aki.
I will do so. All right, so here are my sketches. Now, I am still working on others, but what I have pictured here, the first one in the bottom corner is Dinah reaching towards a daisy. This will reflect the brand new version of Artificial Trees, Ghosts of Artificial Trees that I am getting made, which is an English edition featuring Dinah. That means the cover art is different. It's all in English now instead of in Chinese. And on the cover artwork of the album edition is Dinah is laying on the kind of really blank kind of linoleum floor, and there are cracks in the floor that have daisies springing out of them that she is reaching towards. In this keychain, I wanted to do something to reflect that. So this is Dinah reaching up towards a daisy that's probably going to be glowing if I can get the effect right, and it'll look really, really pretty. The other sketches are actually for the social media board, should we reach the goal, and that reflects individual songs from the albums that they're releasing. The first you see in blue is Dex, based off Lupin's No Straight Answer song My Impulse, which will be on Syntax Zero. And if you remember correctly, if you've been following him long enough, you'll know that the artwork is actually based off the original illustration from the music video, which I made for him. Next, we have Copycat Gumi. Who doesn't love Copycat and who doesn't love Gumi? She just looks really cute. I sketched her out and she's so cute and pouty and she's holding her mirror. And then the last one is actually based off the Dinah version of my song Robotic Sorrow. If you follow me and have heard Robotic Sorrow, the Chinese edition, you'll know that the original artwork that I made for it has Mocha standing in a desolate landscape, and part of him has been burned off from the war around him, and it's revealing the robot underneath. Essentially, this is going to be Dinah's version, and it's going to be quite sad to see Dinah as half robot and part of that robot parts being broken and hurt, and you'll just want to protect her and keep her safe. So should we reach the 1,000 retweets, I will be finishing these up, and we will be getting keychains as part of that social media reward.
You will get all three of these.
All three.
Within that $5 tier. Plus other merch that me and Lupin will be creating.
Which will be beautiful.
Yes. Alright, so next I'm going to showcase Lupin's album sketches. Which I'm switching this slide now because I just stream delay. I'm just letting you know. Boop.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. All right. So these are the sketches for merch that will be that is associated with Syntax Zero. Specifically, this is on the left, sketches for potential buttons, and on the right is the potential t-shirt design for Syntax Zero. All of these are illustrated by Shiva, also known as the Rokurin on Twitter, or Six Lin if you want to just like 6 LIN. and she is so awesome and very talented, and I'm so grateful to have her doing all of the merch stuff for Syntax Zero. So on the left is buttons with featuring Half-Life with Ivana in her somewhat very, very fancy like black dress and hat with holding the white cat. That's all visuals from the Half-Life lyric video on my YouTube channel. There's right next to that my impulses button, which is very, very cool looking. That might be one of my favorites of the set. So the skull and all the little roses and the bent up like barbed wire in the background. It's so cool. I love that so much. And then the art for the button based on Pacify. Unfortunately, only up to two of these will get made. But Pacify's features the original characters that Shiva designed for it, named Viola on the left and T on the right. They are lesbians. They are married.
Yay!
Woo! The truth. Pacify ended with a good ending. Okay. Now that that's out there. Yeah, they are really fantastic buttons, and I can't wait to show you more of the merch on that front, the ones that will be coming with Syntax Zero. For now, on the far right, the t-shirt design is based on the illustration for Syntax Plus and Minus, which are the digital versions of the Syntax Zero set. On the left is on Syntax Plus's cover art, it's Dex, but it might be Miku for this, with short-haired Miku. And on the right is myself. And I don't know what the background is going to look like yet, but I can only imagine it has something to do with sunsets or sunrises. So please look forward to more of that. Please fund us to the merch goal so we could have that beautiful My Impulse button, please.
Please, I need it. I need it.
All right.
And now I'm going to showcase all the sketches for the merch tier in regards to 715, which I'm excited for because I get to just gush over Slep's art for like a good 5 minutes. But for 715, I have commissioned Slep to create concepts for the buttons, the stickers, and the keychain is what you see in front of you. And it's all so cute. So all of these are based off of illustration. Well, actually, no. Most of these are based off of illustrations that Slep has done before, with the exception being Deja Vu, which I'm so excited that the original illustration was done by Key, but Slep did a really, really cute button. So I guess going from left to right with the visuals, we have 3 buttons and 3 stickers shown. However, there will only be 2 buttons and 3 stickers, as one of them was initially going to be a button, but then we thought it would be better as a sticker. The first button on the left is of Glacier, which is the mascot for 715. She has been stuck in a box for years, and she's finally free again. With each one of my albums, I like to have a character to represent that album, and I commissioned Slep to design Glacier, which is one of the cutest designs in the whole world, and I love her so much. So we have a little Glacier button that's like a really cute version of the album art. We have below that, we have a Different Seas Dex sticker, which is him being all edgy and getting wet in the sea with the flag, and he's sad, but you can stick him anywhere and he'll be sad anywhere. And then we have a Karma Rin sticker that was initially going to be a button, but then we thought it would be good as a sticker, and it's her turning around looking at you very menacingly, holding a lighter and a match, because that's just how she do. And then the button in the top right is Deja Vu. It is Luca and Miku in the like really dramatic and awesome like yin yang pose. And it's so pretty, and I'm so excited for that one. And then in the bottom right, we have really cute Glacier giving the peace sign. That's going to be a sticker. And then on the right is a sketch for the Glacier keychain, where she will constantly be falling from a chain forever at your whim. But she's happy about it, so it's okay.
At least she's free from that box.
Yes. And again, all of this art was done by the incredible Slepu, who is at Sleppuccino on Twitter. You should follow him, because just look at this. I'm so excited. This is why I'm so hopeful that we reach the merch tier stretch goal. I want to see this made.
I need that Deja Vu button. I need the Deja Vu button, and I need the My Impulse button. So yes, if you guys can help us reach that merchandise stretch goal, it would be absolutely fantastic. And I promise that I will be if we reach it, I will be updating the Kickstarter via updates with sketches for my own personal buttons. I have some ideas, but I've been kind of holding off because I've been working on some other merchandise for other projects. But now that I'm kind of focusing on are ready to get back into focusing on interface, I'm ready to do more sketches. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow, I'm probably going to post a update on Kickstarter, going a little bit more into like what the merchandise tier means for you guys, with more of the sketches for Syntax Zero's merch. That's just for example, and in case you had any or needed a refresher on what we talked about here in the stream regarding merchandise and what it means for you, there will be plenty of clarification in that post.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 10 minutes left. We didn't actually receive this specific question, but I do have a topic that I'd like to discuss, maybe to either finish us out or to kind of go over while we wait for the final questions.
Mm-hmm.
And that question is, what style of CDs will we be getting made? Because obviously there are as many different styles of CDs as there are for days in the week, essentially. But we kind of all agreed on one specific style that we wanted, and we will be getting that. Let me pull up the page that I created that will tell me all of the fun little details. So for our albums, if we get them funded, we decided on a specific aesthetic that we all kind of wanted. We all decided that we wanted digipacks. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what a digipack CD is, it's the style of CD where instead of it being in a jewel case, which are like the plastic cases and they break a lot, especially when you try to mail them, digipacks are made out of I don't want to say cardboard. It's almost like a reinforced glossy cardstock, and then they have a plastic tray on the inside, and they're really durable. They're very hard to rip. They ship very well. They don't get damaged when they ship. I have never received a damaged digipack in my life. And they're just kind of more aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
Because jewel cases, even if it doesn't break when it comes to you, you're gonna break it at some point, or you're gonna scratch it, or something's gonna happen to it, and then you'll have to get it replaced. And who wants to do that? So we decided digipacks were the way to go, and plus they're more economic as well. We all of the digipacks will be getting what's called a wallet style sleeve. That just means there's going to be a little pocket on one side of when you open it up, and that pocket will have a 16-page full color booklet that will have illustrations, it will have lyrics, it will have the special thanks for all of our Kickstarter backers, you know, little thing that will have your list in it. We are hoping to have each CD be packaged in what we call a dust jacket or a little box, which will just mean it slides into a little box or something that will, again, doubly protect it and also look really, really nice. Circus and I are getting what are called 4-panel digipacks, meaning it's the same as like a jewel case where you open it up, there's front, back, inside. Lupin, though, is hoping to get a 6-panel digipack, which will be a little bit wider to reflect the illustration that he's gotten made for his awesome album. But essentially, it will be the same. The biggest difference with his album, though, is because he's doing Syntax Zero, which is a combination of 2 different albums. It will most likely be a 2-disc set. At least that's what we have planned, and that's what we're striving for. But again, it will come with the 16-page full-color booklet and the dust jacket, all of it essentially the same, just a little bit bigger and with a bonus CD. Lupin's currently is the only one that is a 2-disc set, but that's because you're getting the albums, but one is the Lupin covers version, and then one is the vocal version. So you get the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the plus side, which is mostly Vocaloid stuff, and the minus side, which is mostly my stuff, self-covers.
Mm-hmm.
So while you were explaining that, we've received a few questions in regards to CDs. I think you know more about the printing process, so someone asked, Dylan H. asked, this may be a dumb question, which is not, but will the CDs work worldwide?
Absolutely. We will be getting what are called duplicated CDRs, meaning there's 2 different ways, and I'm getting a little bit technical here. There are 2 ways of getting CDs manufactured. There's duplication, and then there's replication. Duplication works in, I believe, 97% of all CD players. Replication works in 99.9%. But replication is a lot more expensive. So we decided duplication was the way to go because, one, most of the people who order our CDs are from the US and they should automatically work. And also the type of things that CDR, the duplication process, the type of players that they don't work in, I don't think they exist anymore. So it's kind of one of those things where it shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So yes, the CDs we get, the company that we're using, they should work in every single player that you use. And if they don't, then there might be something wrong with your player. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying it might actually just be the player. Mm-hmm. But car stereos, boom boxes, just about anything they should work in. As somebody who orders from this company on the regular and who gets these CDs manufactured, I've never had an issue playing back a CD in any of the devices that I have used.
Cool. Also, Rexel Dexel asked, what do we do if some of us don't have CD-appropriate computers or electronics? And then Kai also asked something similar, in regards to digital releases, in that you don't have a way to read CDs but would love to support the albums. Did we decide on what we're doing with digital?
Well, I think technically all of these will be released as digital versions. For instance, 715 is already available as digital version. If you would like to support it, you can go on iTunes and purchase it now. Syntech Plus and Minus will also be available. I do not believe, Lupin, please correct me, I don't believe Syntech Zero will be available, but that's because Syntech Zero is Syntech Plus and Minus.
Correct.
And then my album, Ghosts of Artificial Trees, the English edition will not be made available online. However, you can get the Chinese edition. The Chinese edition is available now on iTunes, Spotify, etc. So technically, yes, you will be able to get the digital copies of these. And if you want to get a physical copy later and are unable to support the Kickstarter now, if we get funded, then you will be able to do so. But yes, you can support these albums digitally on iTunes. Syntech Plus and Minus, I don't think is released yet digitally, but it will probably be so either while the Kickstarter is going on or afterwards. Lupin, do you want to confirm or deny that, or do you want to say we'll see?
Syntech Plus and Minus will be releasing simultaneously when we're expecting to start shipping out Syntech Zero.
Gotcha. There you go. So there you go.
I will say, and because we haven't fully had this discussion yet, well, I think we've glossed over it, but I'm glad that you reminded us of this. I can't say for sure, but I would at the moment like to try and figure out a way to include a digital copy of the album as with the physical version that you get. I can't say if that will be fully possible, and we will update on Kickstarter if that becomes possible or not possible, but that is something that I'm going to try to make happen.
I think we can make it work. It is something that we have to discuss as a group and then figure out the best ways of doing it. But
yes,
last we talked about it, last we brushed over it, it seemed perfectly reasonable that we could do it. We just have to be a bit more specific when we go over it and fine-tune it.
And figure out...
Fine-tune it!
Figure out the nitty-gritty and how to do so. But
correct.
Yeah. Go on.
There's this, and in case that doesn't happen, there are ways to modify your computer to make it read CDs. There's lots of actually pretty cheap CD and DVD readers and writers that just plug into USB ports. So don't lose all hope just yet, just because you don't have like a disc reader installed on your laptop or desktop or whatever. I know some of you with MacBooks are suffering.
I feel so bad. MacBook is something that I always forget exists. I don't know anybody who has one.
You know me.
Oh yeah, you do have one, don't you? There you go. There you go. Well, Circus, we'll make sure that you can listen to our CDs.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions, or did you gentlemen have something that you wanted to go over?
Oh, have we gone over... I'm pretty sure we discussed this, and I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page. If not, this might be a too long conversation for the end of the stream. But if we reach the stretch goals for the extra albums, will we also be doing merch for those?
Oh, that's a good point.
That's an excellent point.
So, I believe the answer to that question is yes. So if we hit the stretch goals for additional albums, we will also be following through with the merchandise goal specifics. So like 1 keychain, 1 to 2 buttons, and 2 to 3 stickers that will come exclusively with those additional albums.
And if you a good thing to note is that those albums will be shipped separately towards the beginning of 2020. They will not come with your initial album. If you get Ghosts of Artificial Trees and we get the additional merchandise funded and stuff, when you get your first package, that is what you will be getting. You will get everything related to the initial goal. And then you will get a second package later at the beginning or towards the beginning of 2020 related to the second album. Now, that may change. Some of us, we may finish those second albums sooner rather than later. In which case, obviously, you will get an update on the Kickstarter page, and you can look forward to those coming to you earlier. So yeah, technically, if we get those additional albums, you will not only get 1 package, you will get a second package for the new year.
Yes.
with those new albums. It's like you're getting a anniversary or a New Year's present from us or a Christmas present from. And who doesn't like present?
And just to be clear, since it was brought up like one more time, we don't have a lot of time left. The stretch goal albums are each of us producers have one additional album, and somewhat more set in stone in terms of its concept and its title. It's Spectres. Um, uh, EmpathP and Circus's CDs are still somewhat in the making, though they have a general idea of what they're going for right now, I think. So we'll update you more on the contents of those albums as they draw closer to completion. And I believe with that,
I think to wrap this up, we do have one last question that I think we've answered before, but I do want to also mention. If this Kickstarter is funded, these albums will be available at conventions that you can find us at in the future. The best way to receive these albums is to pledge to the Kickstarter itself, but they will be available afterwards.
And I mean, that will be completely fair. It's possible. We haven't completely gone over our plans for what happens, but in our minds right now, it is most likely that anything that's remaining will be almost exclusively available at conventions. But I don't want to rule out the possibility yet. There's plenty of time. We'd like to hear your opinions on it. We might be able to distribute anything left over like online sales. But you know, we'll see, and we'll update you as soon as we're like for sure we've hammered it down. We know how it's going to be available post Kickstarter.
Yes.
And remember, if you have pledged to the Kickstarter, the best way to access updates is to check your email. Make sure that you have a viable email when you pledge to the Kickstarter that you can receive updates from. We will try to update you guys pretty regularly. Not necessarily daily, but, you know, maybe every other day or once a week, depending upon how things progress. And if you want to know what our status is, some new plans that we have made, see sketches, see works in progress, etc., make sure that you check your email to get these updates, or come back to the page and check the updates on the Kickstarter page itself.
And since you mentioned having a valid email, please, if you decide to back, make sure that your Kickstarter account has a valid email address attached to it before the Kickstarter is over. When the Kickstarter is over, you will be receiving a backer survey directly to that email. If it goes defunct, please update it as soon as you possibly can so you can get your rewards.
Yes.
Because otherwise you won't be able to get them. That's just unfortunately how it is. So
I was going to say that we would post an update. I'm reminding people about that, but if you don't have a working email, you won't receive that update.
Yeah, we will also update that, but you know,
very important. Have a working email.
Have a working email, please. I've seen projects be really sad when people don't update their emails to working ones. So please make sure that you have a working email attached to it.
I want to add one tiny little thing right here at the end. And that's essentially a shout out, kind of, sort of, to the company that we'll be ordering these CDs from, called National Media Services. It is a local CD, DVD, t-shirt printing, jack of all trades manufacturing company, and that is where I have always gotten my CDs made, and that is where we will be getting our CDs made this time. So just a shout out, if any of you are aspiring music producers and hope to get your own CDs made sometime, feel free to look them up online, type in National Media Service or National Media Services, and it will lead you directly to them. And if you guys are curious about the service that we're using to get these CDs, feel free to check out their website.
And with that, I think that's it for this stream.
I think so.
Yep. I'll try to put together a stream recap. In fact, I might actually make the stream recap pop up tomorrow instead of the update regarding merchandise that I mentioned earlier. In fact, in this stream recap, we'll probably go over some of that merchandise anyway. So the need for a merchandise specific post might not even be necessary after the recap goes up. So in case you don't want to sift through an hour worth of content to find answers to questions. In fact, some questions you might not even find answered. That's where you'll find most of the information from the stream. And if you have any additional questions, you can always leave a comment in the Kickstarter itself, in any of the Kickstarter updates, or probably reaching out to us individually on Twitter or even via email. So,
Yes.
Yes. Any last comments or concerns before we close, guys?
Thank you guys for getting us up to 56%.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Oh my gosh.
Also, remember to retweet the social media campaign.
Yes, do
I'll
not
put
forget
that
to
in the-
retweet that.
I'll put that in the chat one last time. Right now, there's a little bit of a delay, but there it is.
Because if we get all the goals, I honestly think that $5 tier is like really good.
Yeah, and just an update, we have 46 retweets right now, so we're almost there to that 100. Let's keep doing it, and if we get it, then we will add that social media rewards here. Let's do it, guys. We can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming to this stream. I am grateful for your support in this project, and I hope it goes well. And I'm very excited. We're all very excited to bring you these albums, physical, real, in your hands, in the future.
Thank you guys so much for your continued support. It means the world to us. We love you. One last thing. I just realized. One last thing. Very important. Circus, No Straight Answer, and I will be at a convention next weekend. We will also be promoting this Kickstarter a little bit at our panels. The convention is Toricon, located in Rochester, New York. If you're going to be there or are in the area and would like to come to the convention, meet us in person, talk to us, ask us questions in person about the Kickstarter, or just ask us the questions that we didn't answer because they weren't related to the Kickstarter. Remember, come see us next weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen.
All right. Now, I think we're ready to actually go.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you some other time.
Bye, everybody. Thank you guys so much.
Bye, guys. Thank you for coming.